What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? It's your boy Goblin, and today we're coming in with a classic video, big hoop, big holler, talking about the best wax that I've ever had. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Drop a like if you do. And without further ado, let's dive into it. Get your dicks ready, boys. This is a big dick certified video. Now, this happened a little while ago, and this was an interesting day because I don't really do a ton of wax. For those of you guys who have watched my videos, you might know. I'm not a huge wax guy. Like, I like it. I enjoy it. I'll do it, like, when I'm in a social environment, like, if it's offered to me. But I don't, like, buy wax. I'm not too big on that. I have before, but I prefer bud. I don't know. It's just the act of, like, smoking a blunt is so much better than just taking a quick dab. I like the kind of, like, activity of it. But either way, on this particular day, I was with my buddy who we're going to call Michael. Now, I hadn't seen Michael in a long time. He moved out of his parents' house, and he was living in a house with a bunch of other dudes who all literally just sat there selling weed all day. They literally just sold weed. That's all they did, and they all just helped chip in to pay for the house. So, I was kind of interested in seeing this place. I was like, all right, this place is going to be a shithole, isn't it? Like, it's going to suck, and I'm talking, well, I mean, it wasn't going to suck, but the place was just going to not be very nice. But either way, I'm talking to him. He's like, yo, come through. And, the reason that I hit him up to begin with, even though I hadn't seen him in months, was, my plug was dry and I needed to pick up. So I was like, oh, yeah, I got Michael's number. So I hit up Michael. He's like, hey, it's been a while, Then he tells me to come through. So he's maybe like a 25-minute drive from me. It's not terrible. I was willing to make the drive just because I hadn't seen him in a while. So, I'm hopping in my car. I'm whipping it there. And he lives in this nice neighborhood, like it's not like a rich, like fancy neighborhood, but just like a very like average, neighborhood, like where you probably got like the grandma down the block baking cookies and, you got the kids playing in the cul-de-sac. It was just like a very normal family neighborhood, and I'm pulling up to the address he gave me and it's a normal fucking house. Like, I'm like, what the hell? Like, this is not what I expected. So, I text him. I'm like, yo, I'm here. He's like, all right, I'll be there in 5. He said he ran up to the gas station to grab some blunts. So I'm like, all right. So, he pulls up. He kind of nods to me, gives me that little look. I'm pulling in. I'm parking next to him and all that shit. We shake up. He's like, yo, what's good? And then he leads me inside, and there's a bunch of guys in there who I didn't know. I'd never met any of these people. And Michael was the only one I knew there. But there was maybe like 5 other dudes there, 5 or 6, all chilling in the house. I don't know which of them lived there and which didn't, but I just knew there was a lot of motherfuckers there. So, I'm introducing myself. I'm like, hey, I'm Nick. And these guys are a lot older than I for the most part. Michael's my age. Michael's 18. But, most of the guys he lives with are like mid-20s, So I'm like, these dudes got full-ass beards and shit. These dudes are tall as fuck, grown as hell, doing adult-ass shit. I was just a young man. I'm still a young man. So I wasn't, quite at their age level. But either way, I'm shaking up. They're like, what's good? And we're chilling for a bit. And, he's kind of describing to me, what they do there, what it's like. Because I was asking, I was like, what do y'all even do? Like, what do you do here all day? And he's just like, smoke and chill, really? And I was like, all right, well, shit, that works, I guess. So, I'm kind of sitting in his living room. Because when you walk in, there's the staircase on the left-hand side to go upstairs. But then if you walk past the staircase and go straight, there's like a staircase under it as well. Like, directly under it is the staircase to go down to the basement. And the basement is apparently where they grew. They were growing a little bit. And, and then when you walked in, you had like the little dining room directly to your right. But no one really used that. It was just full of boxes. So either way, I sit down on the couch. I just walk and sit in the living room. And I'm chilling. And, the plan was I was only going to pick up a quad because I didn't really need a ton. And that's kind of what I did. But either way, we go out to his garage, we're chilling. I don't know, like, who I'm supposed to be picking up from, because there's, like, 7 dudes here, and I didn't know which one of them was serving me, so I was just kind of waiting. Eventually, a dude came out, he's like, what's good? He's smoking a square, we're chilling, we're just talking, he hands me the bag. It was actually 8 grams, he packed a little fat, so I was pretty happy with that. So, I threw him my money. I think I paid, like, I don't know, I think I paid, like, 70 for it, like, 70 or 60, one of the two. Either way, it was a decent deal. So, and either way, I throw on my bread, he hands me my quad, and we're just chilling. I got a couple different kinds of blunts for this day. I got a new pack of Swishers that I don't remember. It was like mango or something. It was a pack of Swishers that I hadn't had before. It was like a fruity flavor. It wasn't like normal mango. It was like a weird, like, combination flavor. I don't know. And then I also had the Russian cream backwoods. And let me tell you guys, Russian creams are nice. They taste great. They are so fucking nice. They very, very smooth, very, very easy to hit. They're great. But either way, we didn't even end up smoking a wood on this day, but I'll get to that later. So, I get my bud. I'm chilling in there. We decide, fuck it, let's start rolling our blunts. So we got a couple blunts. We had the mango swishers, and we gutted them both. He rolled one, I rolled one. And as we're rolling, a couple other dudes come into the garage, and I don't know any of their fucking names. I'd never met these guys, like I mentioned earlier, so they were all chilling and talking and dabbing and shit. And they were like handing dabs to each other and stuff, and just giving each other dabs. But like, I felt like it would have been rude of me to ask for one since I didn't know them like that. So I was just like, all right, I won't ask, but I'll just hope it comes my way. So I'm chilling there, just talking to him, got my blunt rolled. Michael's got his blunt finished, and we're chilling, waiting for the boys to get done dabbing so we could smoke our blunts. And, it was kind of interesting. I didn't see the wax at first when they were dabbing. They just had this little rig that, they already had, like, wax, ready to go, ready to dab and shit. So I didn't really get to see, like, the container they had of it and what it looked like. I didn't get a close look until it came around to me, because what ended up happening was, I don't remember what they're called. I think they're like nectar collectors or something. Those little like rubber things almost that you hit dabs out of, but they hit harsh as fuck. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like, you don't need water. You don't need anything. It's just like it's like almost like a straw thing that you literally just put into the place where you put the dabs and then just inhale through it. It's hard to explain because I hadn't used one of these very often. I think I've only used one of these like twice, maybe. They're not super common, but we hit it out of the nectar collector instead of the rig at first. At first we hit it out of the nectar collector. And, let me tell you guys, what ended up happening was the guy who had the wax, big, tall dude, tall as fuck, grown-ass man, looked like the most grown man there, literally just scoops a big fucking dab. Like, no, this wasn't even one dab. This was generous. And he scoops just this fat, gooey, beautiful fucking dab and just slaps it into the nectar collector. And he's just like, this is for you guys to share, go ahead. So, the first thing I noticed was this was some runny wax. Like, this was not like super solid wax like I was used to. And for those of you guys who are familiar with the term sauce in terms of wax, this was sauce. And for those of you guys who don't know, sauce is basically, I don't know the exact like science behind it, or like if there's like an actual difference, or if it's literally just made differently. But all I know is that it's not like you normally get your wax on parchment paper and it's all it's hard. It's pretty hard for the most part. Maybe sometimes you can stretch it out and play with it, but for the most part it's not going to drip places. It's not gonna like run places without being heated. This wax was more like a kind of like a caramel almost. It's like if you take caramel and like, I don't know. It's just that texture. It was just kind of like that a little bit, but it was more like a golden, like a honey colored caramel almost. It's hard to describe, but it was fucking amazing. If you guys have ever seen that picture of Tommy Chong with that big bowl of sauce that he's just scooping out of and it's just dripping and running down, if you guys have ever seen that picture, it's legendary. That's what this shit looked like. It was amazing, and it smelled like it didn't smell like normal wax. That's the thing. It smelled very like clean. It smelled very like, I don't know how to describe it. Almost like just like fresh. It just smelled fresh. There's no other way. Like, it had that sting in your nose when you inhaled it. Like that little tiny sting in your nose that just made you know like, oh, this is something all right. So either way, it comes around to my turn to hit the nectar collector. The fattest fucking glarb is in there. I'm talking like, no one man, well, I mean, technically you could, but no one man would take this dab on a normal basis. Like, this was huge. Like, we were sharing it. We each got like 2 or 3 hits out of this glarb from just like straight burning it too. I hit it hard as fuck. All of us did. It was fat. And it was only me and 2 other dudes hitting the nectar collector instead of the rig. There was like 2 or 3 dudes on the rig, 2 or 3 of us on the nectar collector. And, he just threw the big chunk of wax in for free. So I thanked him. I was very grateful. And, when I smacked this, it was rough as fuck. It was incredibly rough. That's the thing with nectar collectors. Since there's no water, there's nothing to cool down the smoke. It's just straight burning wax smoke, and it's fucking rough. I'm talking like my lungs were imploding. Michael damn near vomited in the backyard when we went out there. But either way, I smacked a couple dabs. almost instantaneously I feel them. Almost instantly. And I don't know if it was just a placebo effect of me being excited for how good these looked or if I was really just fried that quickly, but I instantly, as soon as I exhaled, just felt myself slowly kind of sink into that baked, that dabbed out feeling, and it's hard to describe, but for me, at least when I'm on dabs, I just don't want to lift a fucking finger. And I assume that's how most of you guys are as well. I don't want to move a fucking muscle. I am so comfortable no matter where I am. Put me on a block of ice, and if I'm dabbed out, I will gladly take a nap. Easily. No problem, baby. But either way, and we smack these dabs, they head out, they bring the wax and the rig with them, and they're leaving to go somewhere, I don't know where. Me and Michael go to the backyard. For some reason, we can dab in his garage, but we can't smoke blunts in the garage. So, I guess, I don't really know. Maybe I don't know. But either way, we go out to his backyard, and that's apparently his, low-key spot. That's where he smokes blunts and stuff where people can't see. And the moment we walk out, we sit down, and he points over to this plant. And I didn't notice it at first because it wasn't very mature. It just looked like a normal plant from afar. This was a weed plant. This guy was just literally in a pot, just a single plant, just growing. Just planted right there in his backyard on his patio. Nothing covering it, nothing doing shit to help it. It looked healthy. It looked really healthy. It was starting to bud a little bit on the tips of the, on the tips of the leaves a little bit. Or not the leaves, the very ends of the branches, it was starting to flower a little bit. You could see some nug on there, although not nearly enough to do anything. It was still super fucking young, but it looked like a pretty healthy plant, and I was amazed. I was like, yo, what the fuck? I did not expect this. I knew they grew some weed in the basement, but I didn't know they just had a fucking plant in their backyard on the patio. What the fuck? So I'm just like, oh, shit, all right. And I'm like, what strain is that? And he was like, I don't even remember at this point. And I was just like, huh, well, that's interesting. That's something, And at this point, I'd never really, been up close and personal with a weed plant. I'd seen them. I had friends who had grew, but I'd never, but it was just different. It was just different. It was I don't know. It was cool to see. Whenever you smoke, but when you start smoking, you become, very interested in smoking and all that. Seeing a weed plant is very exciting. It's like, oh, damn, that's the source of my goods here. That's the source of my drugs here. I give that a thumbs up, So either way, I'm just looking at this weed plant, and we spark up the 2 blunts, and we rolled our 2 blunts a bit differently. We decided we wanted one that was rolled tight and one that was loose, So I rolled the loose one, he rolled the tight one, and whenever I'm assigned to roll the loose blunts, we call my blunts the revolvers, the loose ones, because they hit rough as fuck, and that's kind of what we were going for. At least we thought we wanted it. When we got done smoking the first blunt, which was really smooth, Michael is great at rolling blunts. It felt refreshing. It almost felt like taking a sip of water hitting that blunt. It felt so good. It hit beautifully. I don't know how he does it. He just knows how to roll his blunts to hit really, really nice. And then then we hit my blunt, and the thing with this was our objective was to have one that hit a little harder and, smoked a little faster, gave bigger hits. But I think I went a little overboard because we smacked this once and Michael started, he was the first hit, and the facial expression he gave me told me immediately I made a mistake. And I knew immediately, as soon as I took this blunt into my hands and started inhaling, I was in for a wild ride. Because let me tell you, this thing hit like it was on fire. And it was, but I'm talking the smoke was still ignited going down my throat. This literally felt like, how can I even describe it? It felt like when you get that food out of the microwave that's way too hot, like hot soup. When you get hot soup out of the microwave that's way too hot, blow on it, and you gotta take that first bite and just pray to God that it's not too hot. It's that kind of thing. It's that kind of thing. It was fucking burning. It was rough. I was coughing. He was coughing. Dude damn near threw up. He got up and just started coughing all over, hunched over and, kind of gagging almost. I was like, yo, are you good? Are you going to throw up? He's like, nah, I'm good. And I'd seen this guy vomit many times off the bud. So I was like, uh-oh, he might do it again. Who fucking knows? So either way, we finished smoking these blunts finally. We didn't even finish the loose one. We literally just threw it out. We got not even halfway through it, and I was just like, I don't want to hit this. I'm too high right now. And he was like, yeah, no, that's not worth it. So we just put it out and threw it. So either way, we go back inside his house. We're chilling for a minute, and I'm fried. I'm not going to lie. I'm fucking cooked. This wax really really fucked me up. And, I think it almost felt like the blunt that we smoked, the tight one, the one that hit like water, was like making me more sober. It was like refreshing. Like I felt like I could not get any higher at this point. I'd only hit the nectar collector like 2 or 3 times, but this wax was incredible. It was amazing. Some of the best THC ingestion I've ever had, and hands down the best wax I've ever had. I've never been that fried off of 2 dabs, off of 2 hits, never in my life. And I've been pretty fried off wax. I've had some great wax, but this shit was next level. I, to this day, cannot think of any wax that I've done that is comparable to that sauce. That shit was phenomenal, jaw-dropping, but unfortunately it's long gone. The sauce is out of town now, but it was amazing. So either way, that's my story. Hope you guys enjoyed. Drop a like if you did. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys have had any experiences like this. And also, don't forget to hashtag AskGoblin, ask some questions. I plan on making a Q&A video fairly soon, so slap your questions in there, boys. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.